It's very difficult being on this planet, choosing to be here, wanting to help people, wanting them to understand that this is all them. And constantly dealing with the amnesia that we've all been subjected to. If you want this situation to stop, you have to stop. Meaning you have to have that real good long talk with yourself and deal with your triggers and deal with the things that you don't want to accept. Until that happens, nothing's going to change. As long as you keep blaming somebody else, it's going to stay exactly the way that it is, and actually it's going to continue to get worse. Very difficult conveying that. The message is not popular, and it's very hurtful, even more so because of being an empath. Having that gift where you pick up energy everywhere, not looking to pick it up. You just are a magnet for it. You feel everything. You see a lot. And you have clear sight about the unraveling of the ego. It's a very painful process. Going through this ego unraveling, going through this sense of feeling like you don't have any control over anything, going through this sense of something could have been done different. If this person wouldn't have did that, then this wouldn't have happened. And, finding things and people to blame because you're suddenly and certainly having to face the fact that you thought you were free and you're realizing that you're not. And that's what all of this is about. But even with this, people are still looking to pass the blame. And folks are going crazy because they're having to spend too much time with themselves. They're having to spend too much time with themselves. They're having to spend too much time thinking about the things they don't want to think about, realizing the things that they've been in denial about, having those conversations with people that they've been avoiding. And still on social media, absorbing themselves with what's going on outside instead of dealing with what's going on inside. I had a very hard purge today. A mental purge. Back in 2011, I had an experience. Because since I've been on this planet, I just do not seem to fit in anywhere. Didn't fit in anywhere. When 2011 hit, I was really, really, really tired of the aloneness, having this deep sense of loneliness, having this deep sense of being here without any true support system. I'm 50 years old. I've never been married. And watching how other people had support, other people had a mate, other people had someone to hold them down, and then not having that. I think it came to a head in 2011. And I was in a relationship at that time, but mind you, but I knew that that relationship was not going to go towards anything permanent. Feeling alone even when I'm with someone. That aloneness continually rang out. My children had bought me a necklace that had a gold cross on it. And I was sitting in the couch watching TV, and all of a sudden the necklace just slid down my chest. I wasn't moving. Nobody was jumping on me. It just slid. Well, that same night, I had a visitation. And I call them the Sirius 3 from the Sirius Star System. It was two men and a lady. The gentleman had on a royal blue fez with a gold tassel, and he was the leader. The woman was dressed in attire similar to Islam, totally covered up. I could just see her face. And the third person, the other gentleman, I could tell that he was there to ensure that they had safe travel, sort of like security. Whole conversation was not verbal. It was telepathic. And I got a series of downloads and a series of information, and I felt like I had been knowing them all my life. And they looked like me. They were melanated. Beautiful skin. Beautiful skin. And they sat there and they talked to me, and I don't know how long I was in that state. It wasn't a dream. But I'm going to tell you this. One of the things they told me was get from under the curse of the cross and stay in the protection of the light. Another thing that really stuck with me is they emphasize that there is only one source. And there's different levels to that source, but there was only one source. And as I look back on it, shortly after I had that experience, I realized that they were my parents in another dimension. And this is going to sound crazy. I know some of you have already tuned out. I've been holding this for quite some time. I used to stare up at the stars when I was on my parents' lawn. I would lay out on the grass and stare up at the sky and cry, feeling like I had been dropped off somewhere, feeling like I was separate. I always never have felt like this was my home. Just wanted to get back to where I fit. And I'm going to try to get through this without shedding any tears. I said all that to say to you, this is not it. We are so much more than we can ever understand. We've been all allocated with a purpose, and the sooner we do what we were created to do, the sooner we can transcend and graduate. This is a school of the universe. And just like a regular school, if you don't pass, you're going to repeat the grade. This isn't not one where the teacher gets tired of you and skips you up just because to get rid of you out the class. No, this is one with a very patient teacher who will allow you to continue until you get it. So what is there to get? Well, one of the things there is to get is to understand that these are all reflections of you around you. Everything is a reflection. And how you're dealing with others is how you deal with yourself. Everything is a reflection. You are the problem and you are also the solution, but you will never know that if you don't spend time digging in and getting to know who you are. As long as you sit around pointing fingers at people, you're going to make this more difficult than it has to be. Accept this. You have to intentionally manipulate this reality. You have to do the opposite of what the majority does. Not because you're weak, but because you don't want to get caught in this loop longer than you have to. See, there's an electronic or electrical, or I'm not even going to say electrical, energetic grid around this atmosphere. Fear is the heaviest vibration. The only way that you will bypass this is with unconditional love. It's the only way you're going to get out of here. You know, I've sat back and I've let a little bit of everything happen. I've let people do some things and say some things about me. They have no idea what I'm capable of. I could have destroyed them. But I had to intentionally walk in love because I don't want to be here longer than I have to. I want to do what it is that I came to do so I can get back to where I fit, because this reality is not natural. If you're not paying attention, hello, this is not natural. You have to know that no human mind could have put this together like this. There's something otherworldly going on here. We are all otherworldly from different places. And we are here to learn and to evolve. Because the universe has gone through so much chaos and wars and just fighting. This is a place where we have to develop unconditional love. Unconditional love means that no matter what you do to me, it doesn't change who I am. I'm not going to let your hatred towards me make me hate. I'm not going to let your betrayal of me make me betray you. I'm not going to let any evil that you set out against me make me retaliate and get revenge on you. I'm going to stay solid. I'm going to stay on my square. Whatever you do, you have to deal with that. Not because I'm weak, not because I'm a punk, but because I'm trying to graduate. I don't want to be in this school going over and over, repeating the same grade. And so what I would suggest to you, take a good hard look at yourself. Get to the bottom of what you're doing and what you're thinking and the thoughts that you're allowing. And then get control over your reality and over yourself. I'm doing these in 15-minute segments because for some reason IG doesn't allow me to load long videos here. I got to figure that out. But anyway, like I was saying, get control over yourself and over your thoughts, your energy, so you can take control over your reality, because this is not it. Our ego has been running rampant. Running rampant to the point to where we can't tell what's real and what's not. We have so much fear. We're paralyzed. We can't think straight. And all we can do is be subjected to something outside of us controlling us. Governments govern slaves. Masters govern themselves. It's very simple. Government is in place because we refuse to master ourselves. We refuse to take control over ourselves. We refuse to govern ourselves, so somebody else got to do it. So in essence, you blaming something outside of yourself points you directly back to you. How can you expect something outside of you to deal with you the way that you want to be dealt with when you won't even deal with yourself the way you need to be dealt with? If you don't want to take the time to even get to know your own energy that comprises of you, because it's too uncomfortable, but you are uncomfortably comfortable being a slave to your lower nature and allowing yourself to be governed by something that you don't even know. See, the matrix is designed to oppress us to the point to where we realize we're not free and we want that freedom. And the only way we're going to get that freedom is to take control over our reality, which starts within. It starts within. When you go to the mirror, you don't comb your hair in the mirror, you comb your hair right here. And then the way that it reflects in the mirror is adjusted based on what you did. You don't go in the mirror and try to fix your hair or wash your face. But every time you spend your energy trying to fix something outside of you, instead of fixing what's within, making the adjustments, that's exactly how you look. Like you in the mirror trying to comb your hair in the mirror. Everything is always going to point you back to you. Everything is always going to point you back to you. This collective live streaming that we're doing right now, to get us beyond the issues of an out of balance, out of control ego. That's the devil. And we're so connected to this reality because we don't spend no time understanding who we are. We don't spend no time getting to know ourselves to know that this is not it. See, if you take the time to do some soul excavation, spending time with yourself and getting to the bottom of you, you will know that this is not it. This is not it. When I had that visitation, let me tell you, that loneliness, that void that I felt, it was dried up. It was gone. Because I realized that I did fit somewhere. And I realized, after observing all of the things that had happened in my life, how there had been an unseen presence, an unseen force, always taking care of me, always making sure that I was good, always providing for me, always protecting me, always eliminating the things that were around me that didn't mean me any good. Always making sure that I was good. I start remembering that I chose to come here. I start remembering that I'm here to help humanity through this shift. And my frustration with being rejected and the pain that came with not being accepted, whether it was from members of my family or in different circles, or whoever rejected me, those things started leaving. I started realizing that it was good. Rejection was direction. It was good that I was not a part of it. It was good that I didn't fit in. It was good that my life has gone the way that it has gone. But if I wouldn't have dug into and started digging into myself and getting those downloads and getting that understanding about who I am, all my mental health and everything would have been just destroyed. Because at one point I was in a depression for 3 years. I wouldn't even get up, open the curtains, open the blinds, let no light in my house. People come to knock on my door. I go to the peephole, look outside, go turn around, sit back on the couch, crying nonstop, having suicidal thoughts because the aloneness, the loneliness was so deep. I didn't understand what I did that was so wrong to be dealt with the way that I was being dealt with by people who claim to love me. So it comes a point where you have to understand that it's time to get to know you. You've gotten to know everything. You got on-the-job training. You know that dude that you're dealing with. You know that chick that you're dealing with. You know how your daddy is, your mama is, how your brothers is. You know everything. We know everything but ourselves. What we see is only 1% of everything that exists. There's 99% of creation that we can't even see because we're not vibing high enough to see it. Our energy level ain't high enough to where we can see it. We see 1%, and the 1% we see, we can't even deal with that. We have been caught up in these loops. Social media validation. Everything on social media. Look at me, look at me, look where I'm at, look what I'm doing, look what I bought, look what I'm wearing, look who I'm with. Look where I just traveled to. Look how much money I got. Look how much of an expert I am. If you want to do this too, let me show you. Because it's all about me. I got the answers. No, you got the answers inside of you. You got the answers inside of you. Stop subscribing to all of these illusions. These things can be gone tomorrow. We could wake up and none of us be able to log on to Instagram. None of us be able to go to the ATM and get our money. None of us be able to go get gas. What if the Federal Reserve notes that we call money, what if all of a sudden they're no good anymore? All we're being asked to do is to sit down. And I believe, this is what I feel. I know that there is an agenda, but I feel that this was off timing. All of this happening, I don't even feel that the quote unquote powers to be were ready for this. I feel like this is all off timing. Which lets me know a higher power is basically said, you can have your own plans. But the source of all can shut everything down. So the sooner we stop blaming that man in that house in Washington, D.C. and this, that, and the other, and and then another thing is, all of your favorites, those celebrities you idolize and this, that, and the other, are they doing anything to help you? Have they gone through all their Instagram followers and got their Cash App and sent them $100? Talk about people that got millions and 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 millions of dollars, quote unquote. This is affecting everybody. It should be. But you still have people that feel like because they got a certain amount of money that they're okay. Now, what happens when all of that gets taken? Then they're going to be concerned. Another thing is, I'm not going to get into that. I'll save that for another video because I was going to talk about the wealth transfer. I'm going to definitely do a video to talk about the wealth transfer. But this one, all I want to tell you is this. This ain't it. There is so much more to us than this. There is so much more going on that we can't see. There's more going on that we can't see than there is that we can see. So the wisest thing that we can do right now, we've been doing everything, ripping and running, being busy, going nowhere, doing all of these things to feel validated and feel like we're progressing and feel like we're making things happen. Love yourself enough to go within. Go within. Love yourself enough to get to the bottom of who you are, what you're here to do, and then start looking at getting that done. This ain't about money. This ain't about fame. This ain't about status. This is about I am within. God within. God within. If you go inside, you're going to meet a power that is greater than anything that you can come across out here. That is so amazing and so worthy of your respect, so worthy of your time, so worthy of your attention. But it takes for you to go within yourself to locate that power. Not because of some illusion of being afraid to go to hell. People go to church and get saved, quote unquote saved, because they scared to go to hell. That's not the right intention. Loving God and loving yourself is one, because God is within. And if you don't spend time connecting to that source, you're going to be lost out here not knowing what is what. Being tossed to and fro mentally, double-minded. 1 minute you're good, next minute you're not, blah, blah, blah. Get to the bottom of it. Find God in you. that'll cease everything else.